Thanks for the support as a channel member, Marius Hegley. Officially decided the league is stupid, not interested in the league. Hopefully the board are on board with that. What a sentence. As long as we win the Europa League and the FA Cup, that's a job well done, isn't it? Please? Hello and welcome to Club 4, Part 7 of Not an Eater Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two very important cup games. We're away in the second leg of the Europa League, second knockout round against Rangers. We're 1-0 up from the first leg. We're also away against Crystal Palace in the fifth round of the FA Cup. Since you were last with me, we're actually on a little bit of an unbeaten run that goes all the way back to the middle of January. It's now the middle of March. Unfortunately, more than half of those games have been draws. So at least we're not losing anymore. We're slowly showing some signs of life, particularly in this win against Chelsea in the Premier League. That was a big thing because they're the team in fifth place, but then we ruined it by not being able to beat Brighton, who are the team down in eighth place. So we may as well have not beaten Chelsea. And we also did make it past Schalke. Just look at this. I mentioned in the last episode, Correa will give him a go. He took his time. We were 1-0 down until the 91st minute when he equalised, and then he scored again in the 93rd to keep us alive in the Europa League. And that kind of has acted as a spark for, I feel better about this job now, and I think we might be okay. Of course, if we lose both of these games, we're out of all the cup competitions, and we will have actually failed at everything this season. And I think if we lose both the games today, I will end the episode getting sacked. But if we can win one or both of these competitions, then that's the end of next season's goal, winning some silverware. I think that gets me back into the board's good books. That's what I'm hoping for. So this is the team for this second leg against Rangers. We've got Pickford in goal, a back four of Sessegnon, Fotheringham, Banfalvi and Kawamata. Gravenberch and Rott in midfield. Sancho, Ali and Correa behind Orlando up front. I'm slowly but surely losing patience with Harry Kane. I know he's one of the top scorers in the Premier League, but you know how I am with old men anyway. And there's been a couple of times, I think we had one in the last episode. There was certainly one in that Brighton game where he's goal hanging a little bit and actually getting in the way of shots that were going in anyway, turning them into the back of the net himself for his goal tally and then having them disallowed for offside. Gravenberch had an absolute screamer in the Brighton game on about the 80th minute that Kane just decided to flick on with his head and push it a little bit higher into the top corner. And of course, Kane's offside. Just get out of the way, Harry. We'd have won 1-0 there. We'd have been in with a chance of Champions League football next year if you'd have got your stupid head out of the way. But oh no. Had to get his stupid head in the way, didn't he? So Orlando is getting a little bit of run in the team now, and hopefully we'll rediscover the ability to score goals. All the money we spent on strikers in the summer, it is baffling that none of them seem to be able to put in a performance. Jadon Sancho's another one who, he was incredible for England at the World Cup in the summer, and we just can't get a good game out of him. Hudson-Odoi is a superstar. Jadon Sancho, not so much. I think I'm doing football wrong. Gravenberch loses out on the ball, and now Rangers have got the opportunity to get a little bit of a break on. Like I say, we're only 1-0 up from that first leg, so any kind of Rangers goal here does become a little bit of a problem. And I understand Ibrox is a difficult place to go away to. Quite passionate fans up that way. So if Rangers do get a little bit of a taste of blood in this game, then I do worry that things might be a little bit difficult for us from that point on. We now have the chance for a highlight of our own there. Kawamata forward to Delhi, to Gravenberch, who's got lots of space ahead of him to pick a pass. That's exactly what he does. He's looking for Sancho. Probably should have left it for Kid. Oh, it's Sessegnon, not Kid. Kid played the last couple of games there because Sessegnon was injured. I knew I'd picked Sessegnon. Honest. I actually thought he wore number 11, not number 19. So I might just have his number wrong. And Rangers are down to 10 men just 18 minutes into this match, which is... That's important. They're overwhelmed now as well. So they're down to 10 men and overwhelmed. This is important stuff. Not quite as important as the fact that I think my dog is barking in the garden. One moment. My word, he wasn't barking in the garden, he was barking in the house because the garden's windy. You can probably hear the wind going over the garage roof. Maybe I've edited that out. Maybe my mic's good enough these days to not pick it up. It's a very windy day here in England. Orlando has scored though, and that is very, very important. 1-0 to us on the night, 2-0 on aggregate. It's an away goal as well. Unbelievably, only a 6th goal of the season for Orlando, who started the season so well. First season in English football, the one thing going in his favour is we did just have the inbox notification through saying he's now completed his learning English course and he can now speak the language. And what I found with some of these wonder kid foreign imports in the past is that it's only when they master the language that they really start to contribute to the team. So hopefully we're about to start seeing some special stuff from Orlando. Talking of special stuff, lovely little back heel from Ali there, and it's set another attack going. It's with Kawamata to Dele Alli, plays it into Kawamata again, looking for Orlando, can't quite get there. Ali again, and this time goes just wide. There's now some, I think next door's hammering their shed. They're literally battening down the hatches because it's so windy. We've just had one big storm. We have another big storm on the way. That's probably what Dave was barking at before. Men on ladders in the garden next door. That's not going to please him very much. Right. Let's score some more goals. Let's really start to continue on our road to recovery for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. If we can turn this job into a successful job from the point we've managed to get to, it will be one of the great turnarounds in the history of Football Manager on YouTube. I'll be very proud of myself. What are we? Episode 7. If I'm still in this job in episode 10, then I think we're still on for a Champions League win with Spurs. If I'm not, then obviously if I get sacked, we'll struggle to win the Champions League with Spurs. Obviously. Goodness me, Kev. Kawamata plays Correa in. Correa crosses to Orlando, who hits the outside of the post/crossbar. It was sort of in the corner. The corner bit. The wood junction. I'm fairly confident that's what it's called. A wood junction. Right, let's make... See, Sancho's not been very good again. Hudson-Odoi can come on. I think we might have to change Sancho's role. We've been playing him as the inverted winger, and it's just not working out for him. Maybe it's time to give him another run as an inside forward, which is... We haven't tried him as an inside forward for ages. That's a massively disappointing first season back in English football. I mean, look at the form he was in for Spurs before he left. The season he had with Paris Saint-Germain. That tells me I'm using him wrong. So I think from the next game, Jadon Sancho becomes an inside forward again. Or maybe we have to move him to the right-hand side. Right, we're going to take off Ali, bring on Gibbs White as our little couple of changes, and hopefully not let Rangers back into this game, although it is a Rangers throw. But we win the ball back through Kawamata, but then Rangers get the ball back again immediately. And we are in their half, though, which is always good, because hopefully they're going to make a mistake or we'll pressure them into one. And there is Correa, the man of the Europa League. He really wants a medal in this competition, inexplicably. Hudson-Odoi plays it back to Sessegnon, who's got Gravenberch there supporting him, all the way back to Fotheringham. It's not the most positive football I've ever seen, but at least we're keeping hold of the ball. Rott plays Hudson-Odoi in, who's got options in the middle. Instead finds Sessegnon with the cross. It falls to Orlando. It falls to Gibbs White. There's a goal coming. I can taste it. But we're going to make a substitution before it comes. And perhaps the man coming on is the man who grabbed the goal. It's not going to be Harry Kane. It's going to be Mason Greenwood, because I've fallen out with Harry Kane and I'm still determined. I'm paying Greenwood more than I'm paying Kane. I need to turn Mason Greenwood into a footballer because he's there on a 5-year contract on loads of money. No one's going to take him off our hands. We've got him here for his best years. We just need to make sure they're good enough. Importantly, though, we are through into the next round. I think the quarterfinal is it now in this competition. So we've got a draw for that coming up so we can find out who we're playing next. And then, of course, we've got the FA Cup game as well. Double cups. That's what we're after this season. Double cups. Right, Europa League draws. Then we have both quarterfinal and semi-final draws. So we will know our route through to the final after this draw. So as long as us still being in it, Liverpool, Celtic, Real Sociedad, all still in this competition. So for the quarter-final first, Sevilla would be a big LOLLUJO derby from last year's non-Lethal Legend, but they face Lazio. I don't want to play Lazio in Europe. I don't think I ever have in my history of Football Manager on YouTube. I don't want to start now. Just feels like I wouldn't enjoy it. We've already beaten Rangers. Should we go and beat Celtic as well? Probably the simplest tie left in the competition. Liverpool have got... That's a big game, Celtic versus Liverpool. In that case, we'll take Real Sociedad, I guess, out of what's left. Chelsea, we don't really want. Face Porto. And we do get Real Sociedad, and we're away in the first leg. That feels like a winnable tie. They're third in La Liga. It's not a winnable tie. Much sadness. But now we should get the... Do we get the semi-final as well? Right, semi-final draw then. So it'll be Chelsea or Porto versus us. So we've got to get past Real Sociedad, then we've got Chelsea or Porto, and then the other half of the final will be one of those 4 teams. That's the route, and that's what we've got to do. We need to be winning those games. We need to win this tournament, because that is the minimum expectation for the board, based on the pathetic season we've had, is we've got to reach the finals in both of these cup competitions that we're still in. Otherwise, it's failure all round, and that will almost certainly result in me being sacked. So the second leg of that game will definitely be part of tomorrow's episode. But before we get into that, let's make sure we stay in the FA Cup as well. Right, we have shuffled the pack a little bit for this game against Palace, because obviously just a few days after the Europa League game. So Kidd comes in at left back. It's Banfalvi, Van Hoesten and Kawamata completing the rest of the back four. Gibbs White comes into the side to play as not really a holding midfielder, but the playmaker in midfield after an injury to Gravenberch. He's going to be partnered by Haidara. Sancho playing as an inside forward again, with Ali and Hudson-Odoi coming back into the side, and then Kane comes back in up front. That is a team that should be able to get past Crystal Palace. I mean, that front four could easily be the next front four in an England game, so it should be good enough. We've actually got a run to keep going. My word, we are fighting our way back into form. We're clawing and clinging on by the skin of our teeth, and Hudson-Odoi is injured after 3 minutes. I am going to bring Greenwood on. Correa would be the obvious choice, but I'm kind of saving him for European exploits, plus determined to get some kind of form out of Mason Greenwood. If that means playing him on the wing, we'll play him on the wing. We just need to get him into the team somehow. I'm still very conscious of the fact that I'm paying him £350,000 a week, which I just thought that seemed like a good idea at the time, because he was so cheap, and it was so weird that Man United were letting him go for less than £20 million, and that's what he asked for. And I thought, well, it would be silly not to take him just because we can't agree personal terms. We've got lots of money. Let's throw money at him. It seems that he's just realised he's earning 350 grand a week, so he doesn't need to play. He's got that for the next 5 years. He doesn't need to play another football match again for the rest of his life. And we're 1-0 down as well, which is troublesome, because we do need to stay in. But it's not enough to just win the Europa League, I don't think. That was a tournament we weren't even in at the start of the season. We need to win the FA Cup as well. We need to, and quite apart from anything else, we need to keep this run of form going, this undefeated streak that we're on. Let's see how long we can keep that running for, and gradually turn the draws into wins, gradually sort of force ourselves back into some kind of form. I say back into form. We've never really had a period of good form for as long as I've been here yet. Right, let's get aggressive, show a bit of desire. I fired them up. Hopefully they can find a way to find a breakthrough. I don't even know where Palace are in the league. I don't even remember playing them in the Premier League. A Palace down in the division below, because that would be very upsetting if they are. Right, Harry Kane's been rubbish, so let's bring Correa on for him, stick Greenwood up front, and see if Mason Greenwood, getting half an hour playing as an actual striker, let's see if he can justify that enormous salary by dragging us back into this game. Still no sign of a match coming out of Jadon Sancho, despite switching back to being inside forward again. If Paris Saint-Germain want him back again this summer for, let's say, 140 million, we'll keep putting his price up 10 million each year, I will let him go back. Because clearly, in a Tottenham shirt, I can't get a performance out of him, despite him being fantastic every time he plays for England. In the same position, in the same system, which I don't understand, with mostly the same players. I genuinely don't understand why he won't play well at club level. Perhaps he felt he was done at Spurs when he left and didn't want to come back. Who knows? Greenwood is in. Surely. A goal there for Mason Greenwood could have set him up for the rest of the season. Look at these stats, by the way. We should be winning this game. Correa with the corner. Haidara heads over. We've got one more substitution to make. Who have we got down on this bench who could come on and make a difference? Rott and Sessegnon, basically, are the two attacking options. We are going to bring Sessegnon on for Sancho, because Sancho, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him. If he can sort his head out and sort his form out, he's got enough talent to sort this team out. But it does very much seem that for as long as he's playing that poorly, we're going to continue to play poorly as well. Correa now looking for Kidd on the overlap, getting the opportunity to play with Sessegnon ahead of him today. There is Sessegnon, cross comes in, Correa's there and scores the equaliser. He has been a very important part of this little undefeated run that we've been on, and maybe it's time for Ryan Sessegnon to get a proper run in the team as a winger. I've only ever really played him at left back, but his best performances have always been when he's getting forward. So perhaps we just need an out-and-out winger on that left-hand side in Sessegnon. Right, let's get creative. Let's try and find a winner, because the last thing we want is more football matches. Yes, it's nice to keep the undefeated streak going, but I'd rather win the game without having to go to a replay. Thank you. But that being said, I'd rather not lose it. That's a very good goal. It's a very good goal. But I really could have done without him scoring it, because I wanted to win the FA Cup. Oh, we did so well to get back into the tie. We're demanding more now, but it's over. Surely it's over. I'm losing my voice. Where's my bottle of water? I'm getting so upset that I can't speak. Normally I'd pause for that, but I don't think I'd be able to bring myself to restart. I don't want to see us get knocked out. I'm sure I'm getting asked into the board's office after this, unless we can find a way back into this. I will take a replay now. Do you even have replays at this stage of the FA Cup? Nobody knows. Cantwell for them plays it to De Silva, who, it's just too easy for Palace. Look at the stats though. And this has been the story of our season, playing well but not taking chances. Correa charging through again, but it's straight at their goalkeeper. But it is another good chance that's just wasted. I think we need, if I can stay in this job, which is a big if now, having been knocked out of that competition as well, I think we need a real big reshuffle and sort out some of these players who just don't deserve to be here, because they just don't seem to care. And now we've lost our best player for the rest of the season. He has been incredible on this little run that's now over. Not so much recently, obviously, but there, look, in his little purple patch. Well, it's Europa League or bust. If you enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.